Let's see if this will work. Can you guys see me? Can you hear me? Since YouTube is messing up like always, I don't know why it does this to me. It makes absolutely no sense. Let me know if you guys can hear me. Let me know if you can see me, because it has not updated yet on my computer here. Hopefully this is working like it's supposed to. You know how it works in the first couple of seconds. It's a little janky with YouTube. Come on. What are we doing? Are we there? Are we good? Yep. Okay. So it's just stupid because this is what YouTube does. It's supposed to be horizontal, but they go vertical every single time. Anyway, y'all, welcome back over to SquirrelTribe. If you watched yesterday's video, you know that today we're going to be talking about the interview that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz did last night on CNN. And when I tell you that it was the biggest, I don't even know what to call it. It was a massive disappointment is what it was. It was a huge disappointment for everybody. I even think Dana Bash or Dana, I honestly don't even know how to say her name. I even think she was disappointed with how crappy it went. I have a lot of notes to go over with you guys. Let me give you a heads up. This will be a long live stream. The way I run my mouth and as many things as we have to talk about, this could be a good hour. Just want to give you a heads up. If you need to tinkle, now's the time to do it. If you need a drink or a snack, I would say go grab it. I will be showing a lot of things, so you can listen as much as you want, but sometimes there will be visuals. So if you need to do this as a replay, I fully get that too. I'm going to just read you some of my notes from the very beginning of the interview. Number one, let me explain to you how hard it was to find that interview and watch it. I don't have regular cable anymore because that shit's expensive and I refuse to pay that kind of money for like 4 stations that I might possibly watch. So we got rid of cable a long time ago. But because I have a Samsung TV, it has live TV stuff. And I thought maybe I'd be able to watch it that way. That wasn't the case. So I jumped on good old YouTube and I went to some of the big names that I thought would be live streaming it. And thankfully, Benny Johnson was live streaming the interview last night from CNN. Because I think you had to pay for it at some point to have like the whole entire thing. That's what some people were saying. I actually had it pulled up on my computer. CNN.com would let you watch it over there, but only for a short amount of time. You couldn't watch the whole thing on CNN. And it's a CNN interview, but would only let me watch for 7 minutes. And the interview itself was, I think the whole entire thing was 27 minutes, but the Kamala Harris, Tim Walz talking portion was only 18 minutes, which should tell you a lot right there. So we watched it through YouTube with Benny Johnson. Very thankful for him for having that up there. And watching Benny Johnson try to keep his mouth shut while Kamala Harris was talking, he is so much like me. It's a little scary. I'm over here yelling at the TV like, you dumb. It was absolutely ridiculous what happened last night with this interview. And I will air quote the word interview all day long because that was not an interview. I don't know what that was, but interview is not the correct answer. These are just a couple of notes that I made in the very beginning. Long lead in with fluff, and let me explain. There was probably a good 2 minutes of just like a compilation of videos throughout the last couple months with Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, and it was pointless and it was stupid and it was whatever, kind of like everything Kamala Harris does. The second thing, that as soon as they actually went into the meeting room where it looked like they were in some old building, there was like writing on the windows on the outside. It looked like it was maybe an abandoned building and they just found a table and stuck it in the middle and decided to sit down and have a conversation. It was a very weird spot. It wasn't in a CNN studio. It wasn't anywhere like that. I don't know why. That's what they did. It was in Savannah, Georgia, as far as I know, because that's where Kamala Harris had she had like a rally or whatever you want to call it yesterday in Savannah, Georgia. They had to bus people in. It was on the Savannah Nightly News, whatever news station they have there, showing the buses of people being brought in to go to this Kamala Harris rally because people in Savannah themselves were like, no, I got better stuff to do, like sit in traffic or stare at that wall over there or pluck leg hairs one by one with tweezers, things like that. So she had to bus people in. And what I noticed very first off, when they finally showed Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, I don't know where the camera is because it's in such a weird spot. So if I'm not looking directly at you, it's because I'm looking where I normally would. And anyway, it's weird. The one thing I noticed, she looked busted. She looked so old. She looked like, I know what she looked like. This is what she looked like. She looked like when you're 21 and you think that you can drink like 60-year-olds who have been doing it for years and years and years. So you go on this massive bender, and then 2 days later, you look like a shrunken skeleton, just deflated, defeated because of all the moisture's been sucked out of your body from all the alcohol. That's what she looked like. Just so everybody's aware, it was very, very disturbing. Hey, Linda Campbell, thank you so much. I appreciate you, man. Oh, and I also wanted to say welcome to the tribe to, I saw the name a minute ago. Where'd it go? Hold on, guys. I'm going back to the live chat here. Barb Wire, welcome to the tribe. I saw that earlier, and I wanted to say thank you, and I didn't get a chance to mention it. And thank you to everybody who's here. And Loretta Kramer, appreciate you for joining the tribe as well. You guys rock. Okay, listen. Let me get back to my notes. This is going to be all over the place. You know how this works here on Squirrel Tribe. Nothing is going to be, because that's just not how I roll. So if you get frustrated, hate it for you. Okay. So many things. So these are, like I said, I have just a bunch of notes, and I just want to read the notes to you, and then we're going to jump into like absolutely everything. So 1, long lead in with fluff. 2, she looks busted, old, tired. Number 3, I wrote down day 1, highest priority first day in office is strengthen middle class. For those of you who have not seen everything yet, let me explain to you what CNN has done. CNN has everything over on their YouTube channel, okay? Everything on their YouTube channel. But they have taken this 18-minute interview that was really a 27-minute whatever because of all the commercials, all the fluff, all the extras that were added in. It was over an hour long that they talked to Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, and they chopped it down to 18 minutes because it was absolutely horrific, right? But CNN, instead of putting the whole 27 minutes up as a video, they've chopped the videos up into little pieces. I have the, where is it? Here it is. Okay, so hold on. Let me play this for you. I'm going to play this for you. Oh God, it's 8 minutes. We don't want to listen to her talk for 8 minutes, but I do want you to hear what Dana or Dana, whatever the crap her name is, asked Kamala. Look.
If you are elected, what would you do on day 1 in the White House?
Well, there are a number of things. I will tell you first and foremost, one of my highest priorities is to do what we can to support and strengthen the middle class. When I look at the aspirations, the goals, the ambitions of the American people, I think that people are ready for a new way forward. In a way that generations of Americans have been fueled by hope and by optimism. I think sadly, in the last decade, we have had in the former president someone who has really been pushing an agenda and an environment that is about diminishing the character and the strength of who we are as Americans, really dividing our nation. And I think people are ready to turn the page on that.
So what would you do day 1?
Day 1, it's going to be about, 1, implementing my plan for what I call an opportunity economy. I've already laid out a number of proposals in that regard.
Wait, pause. She says that she's already laid out her plan. If you go to Kamala Harris's website, there's not shit there about her plan. Most presidential nominees, hey, Christina B, welcome to the tribe. Most presidential nominees, no, because she was not nominated. Most presidential candidates, there we go, will have something showing somewhere what their plans actually are. She has nothing anywhere, okay? Look at her face, y'all. I told you she looks busted. Literally, all I can think of is E.T. And I know that's not nice. I normally say that about Wendy Williams, but right now, Kamala Harris is giving E.T. vibes to me. But what's crazy to me, there's a lot more little videos here to show y'all. But what's crazy to me is that she says that her first, day 1, Dana had to ask her, Dana, I'm going to call her both numerous times, had to ask her again, okay, but what is your plan day 1? Because she didn't say anything. This word salad, mumbo jumbo crap that she throws out makes absolutely no sense 99% of the time. I know I talk in circles sometimes and I talk weird, but that's because my brain is moving faster than my mouth. That is definitely not the case with Kamala Harris, just so we're all fully aware. But she doesn't really say anything. And I don't think she actually has a plan. But what I noticed, and I know some of y'all noticed because I could see a little bit of your comments down there, she kept looking down. She was not making eye contact at all. So my husband, Kevin, he is on YouTube. If you guys have seen it, it's Kevin_24x7. We were watching the Benny Johnson Live with the CNN interview together last night. And we both noticed that she's looking down at notes. All right. She can't even get through this with Dana Bash. We're just going to call her DB. She couldn't even get through this with DB without looking down at some sort of notes. And anytime she would look up, she couldn't make eye contact. The face was like she didn't want to be there. Like that's how it felt to me. Like she did not want to be where she was doing this interview. And we know she didn't because it took her so incredibly long to do the interview. Karen L., welcome to the tribe. I appreciate you. She took so long to do this interview. And even doing this interview, she didn't actually do the interview. She still was reading notes. She still was not answering questions. She still was sidestepping numerous questions that were asked of her and Tim Walz. Both of them were sidestepping numerous things that were asked. When we're going to get to those a little bit later. But when you, just from that little bit that you guys saw her and heard her, she sounded slurry, right? Like the same way she did in, what city was that? Another rally that she had where she sounded a little, She sounded that way. Now, could she be tired? Sure, it could be tired. I will give her that. It could be tired. Oh, hey, hold on. Y'all, give me 2 seconds here. The downside to doing a live stream is that I get highly distracted by the live stream, which is good. Talavish says, been watching your awesome content for years now. Thank you. I appreciate you. Let's see if I can thumbs up that. And then Karen, we said, welcome to part of the family. Elizabeth Ramsey, thank you, ma'am, for your support. I appreciate you. And then my husband just gifted 5 Squirrel Tribe memberships. Let's see who got them. Michael Luft, Kay, yay, Kay. Maria Williams, yay, Maria. Tiffs, Tips, and Reviews. And Loma Gibson, y'all, welcome to the tribe. Okay, let's get back to this. I'm going to try to focus, but y'all have met me and it's a little hard sometimes. So that's what she said. Where was I? The day one priority, she never really fully answered anything. I'm not going to show you all these little 8-minute long clips. They are all over on CNN. If you want to watch it after we're done here, I would suggest if you haven't seen everything put together, go watch it. Because you will see for yourself how disjointed the entire thing was. I was actually very surprised that Ms. Bash asked the questions that she asked of Kamala Harris and Tim Walz last night, but I was never surprised that they didn't actually answer them. And I'm going to get to that in a minute. So my other notes are her eyes look bloodshot. Even DB, Dana, whatever, reminded her she is already in office, so why wait to make changes? Because on her day one speech, she kept talking about the things that she was going to change. And she was reminded by her interviewer, but Kamala, you're already in office. Why wait? It's the same question I think all of us have been asking every single time she gets on the campaign trail and promises to do this or change this or fix this. It's like, but you're already there. Why do we need to wait until you're the president for these things to be changed? Why do we have to wait for you to win the popularity contest for you to implement anything to actually help the American people? Right now, she has no problem implementing things to help non-citizens. How about you actually implement something to help the people of this country that you supposedly want to lead? Which brings me to, I'm just going to jump all over the place here. Hold on, where is this little thing? I got so many tabs up here. Okay. I was going to say this for later, but I have to tell you this now. This is her quote. When she made this quote, okay, she says, y'all, I laughed my ass off. I am running because I believe that I am the best person to do this job at this moment for all Americans, regardless of race and gender. Ma'am, clearly you are on drugs. Nobody believes you are the best person to do this. There are far more qualified individuals probably just sitting around in their living rooms or in, I'm not talking about me, I was just, that's where I happen to be sitting, or at their desk at work that are way more qualified than Kamala Harris to run this country. But for her to come out and say that she is the best person to do this job at this moment for all Americans, that's how I know that she's ingesting something, whether it's liquid related or pill or powder form. I'm not sure, but there's definitely something going on because there's no way she can look in the mirror and go, yeah, there's definitely nobody better than me for this. That doesn't even make sense. Okay, let's see. I'm going to get past my little things. I have so many. So the other one that I saw, Dana basically asked her about being black. What she said was, let's see if I've got this part here. I have so many tabs open. It's absolutely ridiculous. So she asked her about, how Donald Trump pointed out that CNN played the little clip from the National Association of Black Journalists where Donald Trump was on stage because, again, Kamala Harris did not show up for the National Association of Black Journalists, but Donald Trump did. He's on stage with the woman who was pretty much berating him the whole time and talking down to him. And he made the comment of he didn't know that Kamala Harris was black because for years it wasn't a thing. And then suddenly she decided that she was black, and that's what they've been pushing. And so Dana Bash, DB, asked her, how about her ethnicity and things like that. Hey, multifaceted Jules, welcome to the channel. And she asked her, and this was her. Do I have a clip of that? Well, this is what she said. This was Kamala's response. Same old tired playbook. Next question, please. And then asked if she had anything to add by Dana Bash. Miss Harris replied, that's it. She refused at all last night to confirm or deny if she is black or not. Not once would she confirm or deny. She just completely avoided answering the question. Just like when Tim Walz was asked about stolen valor, he talked all around it, but never said anything about how he's guilty of claiming stolen valor, of saying that he was this ranking in the National Guard that he never ever was. She asked him about, he made the comment about fighting in war in Afghanistan and whatever else. And she goes, did you misspeak? Because it's been proven that you weren't there. Like, Dana, I was surprised. I was like, oh, girl, get him. Like, hello, I'm okay with this. Like, I like the way you're going after these two. Now, she gave them softball questions, like that baby lob at them. I would have been like, like, you better duck because it might hit you. But she did this little softball lob of questions, super simple questions. She also basically answered for them in the way that she phrased questions so they would know how to respond. So it wasn't like the best interview. But the fact that she came out and did ask the questions that the majority of people want to know about, I was proud of her for. And again, neither Kamala Harris nor Tim Walz replied or responded with an actual answer to any of them. Everything was a dance around. Everything was a look over here, not over there kind of thing. And it got real tiring. And again, like I said, I was watching Benny Johnson. He was losing his shit in the background. He's like, because he wanted to say so much. Even after everything was said and done and they sat down with CNN, the CNN people sat around and talked, even you could tell that even they were like, yeah, that wasn't great. And they even said that that interview isn't going to help her. It's not like it pushed her farther along for people. In actuality, it probably hurt her a lot more than anything. It would have been better off if she had never done the interview. That's my personal thought. I knew that she sucked. Like, I know that she has no actual policy. She has nothing that she stands on, although she continued to say that her values haven't changed. She flip-flopped so many times just during the interview that clearly your values have changed. The only value I think she has is that she wants to win. And I don't even know why. I don't think she actually wants the job. I think she just wants to prove that she can. Maybe there's money in it for her somewhere that we don't know about. It doesn't make any sense. All my notes here. Dana asked him about war zones. He bypasses and talks about how proud he is of his service and being a teacher and moved on to guns in schools and never answered the question. She even asked him about IVF, about how he kept saying that he and his wife went through IVF, which is not the case. He did not go through IVF. And then he starts talking about how, and Dana pointed out his false statements about his DUI that he got and how he tried to claim that that wasn't real, it wasn't true, and then it came out that it was. She kind of went for blood, right? And Walz still didn't answer. But what was crazy to me is she mentioned the IVF thing, and he immediately went in on how it's not fair that people want to take away the rights for people to have kids and whatever else. And I'm like, who are you talking about? What are you talking about? Because Donald Trump has never said he's going to take away IVF from people at all. And the problem here is these dumbasses are still looking at Project 2025, the thing that the Heritage Foundation wrote that they started in the Reagan era and have been adding to and tweaking for years and years and years. they're looking at it still like it's a Donald Trump thing, which it's not. In that, it talks about, something condensed along the lines of natural childbirth or no. Renee Hickman, welcome to the tribe. Appreciate you. Welcome to part of the family. So he totally changed the answer. He wasn't answering, and instead he was talking about how Donald Trump wants to take away IVF, which again is not true. Donald Trump has actually come out and said that he wants IVF to be paid for by your health insurance, and he wants it to be something that it could be like a government-backed plan to help families have children, because there is no continuation of our world if we stop reproducing. Sean Logan says, Harris hates America. No, I agree with that 100%. I agree with that. I feel like she hates Americans. I feel like she likes the country because she can let people in through the border, but I don't feel like she likes Americans. That's just me personally, and you obviously. But okay, so I mentioned Kamala said she's running. Let's see here. What do we have? Oh God, I have so many different things here to show y'all. Let's go to this one first. I'm trying to figure out how to do this because I have way too much crap because it's what I do. Oh, here we go. Here we go. So Kamala, I'm just going to show you. So Colin Rugg posted this on X, and it says, Kamala Harris says the U.S. needs to close the page on the, hold on, William D., you deserve this for putting up with watching that shit show yesterday. Thank you. I appreciate you immensely. Yeah, it was a lot watching her talk. But let's see. Kamala says the U.S. needs to close the page on the last decade, prompting Dana Bash to point out that a third of that time was with her in office. She keeps forgetting that she is the vice president. She is currently in the White House. She is part of the problem that she is talking about trying to fix. She is part of that problem. Kamala says, I believe the American people deserve a new way forward and turn the page on the last decade. And Bash says the last 3.5 years has been part of your administration. Like she points it out for her. And I want you guys to hear this. It's just a short little clip, but it's important. And then I want to point out something else for you guys here. Hold on. Wait, play
forward and turn the page on the last decade of what I believe has been contrary to where the spirit of our country really lies.
But the last decade, of course, the last 3.5 years has been part of your administration.
I'm talking about an era that started about a decade ago.
Again, Kamala Harris does not have brain cells to rub together. That's what I have figured out. But what I want to show you is, you see right here above CNN where it says live? It says live. That's bullshit. It wasn't live. Those parts were all pre-recorded. This is false advertising by mainstream media, by the reporters, by the journalists, by CNN. They claimed that was live. The only live parts in theory were when it would cut to Dana Bash and she would say some little whatever, and then it would go to a commercial. And then it would come back and it would go to the pre-recorded, fully edited interview with Kamala and Tim. This is not live. So for them to put this as live, I feel like is extremely misleading to people, because everybody out there who doesn't understand the trickery that these people are willing to use against the American people are looking at this going, oh, wow, this is live. Look how great Kamala Harris is doing. Look how great Tim Walz is doing. They're answering the questions. They don't know that there's an hour worth of talking that they had to condense down to 18 minutes because either Kamala didn't answer it correctly or couldn't answer it, Tim Walz didn't answer or couldn't answer, or the answers they gave were so ludicrous word salad bullshit that they had to chop it up and fix it or redo the questions. There were questions that were asked that they did not even put through or get to actually use with Tim Walz and what was the one they asked him about? Oh gosh, I can't remember what it was. I saw it earlier and I don't think I saved it, and now I can't remember what it was, and that's gonna annoy the crap out of me. If I remember, I will let you know, I promise. So this next one here, I just want to show you, right before the Kamala Harris, Tim Walz interview, Trump actually had a town hall. The town hall, y'all, looks like a massive rally, this massive crowd. I just want you to see this. Let's see, I don't think I can play the volume on it. Can y'all see that? How many people? This is for a town hall. That is crazy to me. You know who doesn't get that kind of response at all? Kamala Harris, Tim Walz, not at all. Even at the DNC, they didn't get that kind of response, and people were, paid to be there to respond like that, and they still didn't respond like that. And this is a town hall, and that's the reaction that Donald Trump got walking in. Now, this piece here, this is just something totally off topic, but I just want to bring it to your attention. The North Carolina Board of Elections just voted to reject RFK Jr.'s request to withdraw his name from the ballot, but any votes he gets won't count since he has withdrawn from the race. Democrats are cheating in broad daylight. They're basically using his name to take votes from Trump. This is the party of democracy for you. We talked about it yesterday, which is why I'm bringing it up now, how RFK Jr., side note, last night's video that I made, I was like, who the hell is Bob K? Because there was a thing about Bob K. I've never heard him referred to as Bob K. I've heard RFK Jr. I've heard Robert Kennedy. I've heard Bobby Kennedy. So Bob K did not compute in my brain. I was like, who is Bob K? So thank y'all for commenting last night and like, Michelle, sweetness, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. So thank y'all for being smarter than me yesterday. But the fact of the matter is the Democrats are definitely finding ways to cheat the system by keeping him on ballots where he has tried to withdraw because he has taken his name out of the race in those states. Keeping him on the ballot, if he gets those votes, it does absolutely nothing. All it does is take those votes away from Trump. It helps the Democrats because they don't go to Trump. It doesn't matter if they don't go to the Democrats. What matters is they don't go to Trump. So this is just another way for them to try to steal something that doesn't belong to them. Okay. I have to phrase it a certain way because YouTube is, whatever. This is actually a Benny Johnson post, and this is what we started with, but I want you to listen to this. He posted this last night, and this is talking about the prices and day one and inflation and whatnot. Let's see if I can get this to work. Hold on. I got to make sure I'm not on an open tab that has volume because I do this all the time and I F up. All right, let's go. Let's see if this will work.
But I wonder what you say to voters who do want to go back when it comes to the economy specifically, because their groceries were less expensive, housing was more affordable when Donald Trump was president.
Well, let's start with the fact that when Joe Biden and I came in office, during the height of a pandemic, we saw over 10 million jobs were lost. Literally, we were all tracking the numbers. Hundreds of people a day were dying because of COVID. The economy had crashed. In large part, all of that because of mismanagement by Donald Trump of that crisis. When we came in, our highest priority was to do what we could to rescue America. And today, we know that we have inflation at under 3%. A lot of our policies have led to the reality that America recovered faster than any wealthy nation around the world. But you are right. Prices, in particular for groceries, are still too high. The American people know it, I know it. My agenda includes what we need to do to bring down the price of groceries. For example, dealing with an issue like price gouging.
So what's interesting there is she continues to say, yes, prices are too high. Well, ma'am, just to point it out, again, you're saying that you and Joe Biden have done something amazing and you've fixed our economy and we're the best one in the world. At the same time, you're saying our prices are too high. And at the same time, you've been in office for the last 3.5 years to help bring those prices down, and you have done nothing. So just worth remembering for anybody who seems to have forgotten that she is full of shit. This is at the, Laura Loomer posted this, and this is at the, Savannah, Georgia rally. And this is what Laura Loomer says. She goes, she sounds hammered. Kamala Harris even has the sweats you often see alcoholics get where their skin looks greasy because the alcohol is seeping out of their pores. Is she an alcoholic? And a lot of people have asked this question and talked about it numerous times. Laura Loomer, she's going to ask you, flat out. But I want you to see and hear.
He even called for termination of the United States Supreme, the supreme land of our nation, the United States Constitution.
What did she just say? What did she just say? What did she just say? I don't think she even knows what she just said. She is very flustered. She is very confused. And I don't know if she looks greasy. I'm trying to figure out. I don't think she looks greasy, But I do think she looks rough. I know that much. But I like how they bust in all the black people to stand behind her. Y'all just look. They bust in all black people to stand behind her because they need people to equate Kamala Harris to black female. So if you have enough black females standing behind you, then maybe it'll make you look a little blacker, I think is how it goes. I've been in a room of black people. I do not look any blacker. Just so we're all fully aware, I'm white. So I don't really think it helped her either. She still looked pretty Indian to me. And I don't know if that sounds racist. I honestly don't give a shit. It didn't help her, in my opinion, to be surrounded by black people. Now, this one here from Colin Rugg. This is what kills me. This one right here, y'all, this is where I lost my ever-loving shit last night. What is my hair doing? Hello. Kamala Harris blames Donald Trump for why she didn't take action on the southern border for over 3 years. This was the question. I'm going to let you listen to it, and then we're going to talk about it because the answer made absolutely no sense. And I think that Kamala Harris literally really is banking on the fact that the people she expects to vote for her are the same ones she said are stupid. She said 18 to 24-year-olds are stupid. So I'm assuming that when she's talking, she's hoping that these stupid 18 to 24-year-olds think that she's telling the truth and she's being honest. And they don't know that she's full of absolute shit and that she could have stopped anything at any point in time, her and Biden, with the stroke of a pen. Because as a president and vice president working together, you can pretty much make anything happen that you need to make happen. We know that that is true. Let me just play this for you. Hold on. Hello.
As Vice President,
No, see, this is what I did last time.
addressing the root
See, I'm really
causes
bad
of
at this.
migration,
Please hold. Wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Big one is immigration. As Vice President, you were tasked with addressing the root causes of migration in southern countries and
Northern part of Central America.
the northern part of Central America that affects the southern border of the U.S. During the Biden-Harris administration, there were record numbers of illegal border crossings. Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
Well, first of all, the root causes work that I did as vice president, that I was asked to do by the president, has actually resulted in a number of benefits, including historic investments by American businesses in that region. The number of immigrants coming from that region has actually reduced since we began that work. But I will say this, that Joe Biden and I and our administration worked with members of the United States Congress on an immigration issue that is very significant to the American people and to our security, which is the border. And through bipartisan work, including some of the most conservative members of the United States Congress, a bill was crafted, which we supported, which I support. And Donald Trump got word of this bill that would have contributed to securing our border. And because he believes that it would not have helped him politically, he told his folks in Congress, don't put it forward. He killed the bill.
How can the man who's not in the White House kill a bill? That's my only question. She's trying to say that Donald Trump has more pull than her and Joe Biden, which I would agree with, number one, but she's trying to say that he was able to make everybody kill the bill. The House and the Senate are not fully Republican. I need everybody to remember that. Why would Democrats agree with him? Because they would want to put the bill through, right? If this is really what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris said they were doing and really were trying to push, wouldn't they have put it through anyway? There's enough votes there to make it go through, despite Donald Trump asking his friend or two not to put it through, which they can't prove that ever happened, but they keep saying it. But here's the thing. The president could have vetoed that or overridden that or whatever the right terminology is, and they could have put that bill into law no matter what and still secured our southern border. And they did not do it. Kamala Harris did not do it. But they keep wanting to put it on Donald Trump why our border is the way it is, even though he has not been in office for 4 years. So just something else that we need to keep in mind when it comes to listening to what comes out of her mouth, because she lies. She doesn't know the actual answers to the questions that she's being asked about her own vice presidency, let alone the question she's being asked about what she would be as a future president. She doesn't have anything of substance to say or to give to the American people. And I've given myself hiccups. That's the one we just did. You guys doing good over there? How's everybody doing? Everybody good? I've seen some fun stuff happening in the live chat. So thanks to Sarah, our moderator, for taking care of whatever's going on there. So when I told you guys earlier that Dana was basically lobbing little softballs at Kamala and Tim to answer, she was also directing them on how to answer things. I want you to hear how she asked this question. Stop. How she asked this question so that Kamala Harris would know exactly how to answer it. All right.
Speaking, how should voters look at some of the changes that you've made, that you've explained some of here in your policy? Is it because you have more experience now and you've learned more about the information? Is it because you were running for president in a Democratic primary? And should they feel comfortable and confident that what you're saying now is going to be your policy moving forward?
Dana, I think the most important and most significant aspect of my policy perspective and decisions is my values have not changed. You mentioned the Green New Deal. I have always believed, and I've worked on it, that the climate crisis is real, that it is an urgent matter to which we should apply metrics that include holding ourselves to deadlines around time. We did that with the Inflation Reduction Act. We have set goals for the United States of America and by extension the globe around when we should meet certain standards for reduction of greenhouse gas emissions. As an example, that value has not changed.
Oh, Dana basically told her how to answer it, told her what the right answers would be. And then Kamala still, she doesn't, I don't understand. I wish I had better information and a more cohesive way to put this together, because now I start to sound like Kamala Harris when I talk, but I don't understand how this woman is in the position that she is in. Like I don't get it. She was asked about when Joe Biden decided to take his name off the ballot. Oh, side note, December Herrera, welcome to the tribe, my dear. So she was asked about when Joe Biden let her know that he was taking his name off the ballot. And when I tell you, her response was the fakest, stupidest, makes absolutely no sense response I have seen out of any of this. I can't even. So Dana, also Kamala being the one who at the DNC had her little nieces come out and do this whole round about how to say Kamala's name because so many people were messing it up and getting it wrong. She called Dana Bash Dana. She goes, "Oh, I'm sorry, Dana." Like, she called her wrong on purpose. But if Dana Bash had done that to her, she would have lost her ever-loving mind and done this whole thing of, why is it so hard to say my name? Even though Bill Clinton got it wrong and Al Sharpton got it wrong and numerous other people have gotten it wrong. But anyway, I just wanted to bring that to your attention because I thought it was something worth mentioning there. Let's see what we've got here. Where is this? Nope, that's something that's not important right this second. Please hold, keep going. You guys doing good over there? Hopefully. Thanks for, nope, that one's not important right now either. Hold on. I have way too many things here and I'm trying to keep them all Kamala related as much as I can. Oh, so this one here. This is what I was telling you about. This says, anyone else notice that Kamala is constantly staring down at her pre-written notes during this interview? She can't remember her own talking points. I don't know if this has volume. What is this?
To invest in the
American so she looks down.
Manufacturing back to the United States so that we created over 800,000 new manufacturing.
She has to look at the, which,
bringing
whatever.
Business back to America. What we have done to improve the supply chain so we're not relying on foreign governments to supply American families with their.
She's staring at notes on the table.
Look, as somebody who writes stuff down and then talks to y'all and looks here and looks up, I know exactly what that is. Y'all see me do it all the time where I'm looking down and then I look up here to talk to you after I've read it, have part of it in mind and go here. She is looking at notes. She's looking at things that either she's been told to say, numbers that she can't remember, or whatever else. You know who doesn't do that? Donald Trump, because he has the information in his head. He knows what he's talking about at all times. He knows about things that I didn't even think he would know about, just randomly about other countries, other people, whatever. She doesn't even know numbers and information for her own country, right? And I think that's very, very important to remember. But the reason I saved this one is so I could show you this next one. Is it this one? Yes. So Donald Trump, I told you he had his thing yesterday. He brought out the organizer of a group called Auto Workers for Trump, and he lifted the roof off the place with his speech, slamming Kamala Biden regime for destroying American car jobs and implementing their destructive EV mandate. She was just talking about how they brought back all these car manufacturing jobs to the US, which, you know, maybe, but they haven't done it in a way that's actually helping the people. So I want you guys to hear what this gentleman had to say. If I can get the, let's see. Are there any other open tabs with volume? Because y'all know how this works here sometimes. Okay, volume up. Let's see this. Hold on. Let's work. Okay, here we go.
Mr. President, and the last time you called me up on stage in Grand Rapids, it was the first rally that you'd held since the assassination attempt, and I was speechless. But tonight, I want to say a couple things real briefly. I represent the Auto Workers for Trump organization, which was a Facebook group. I started that group. Thank you. There's some auto workers here, I'm sure. Lansing got a lot of them. But unfortunately, a lot of them have lost their jobs. Listen, Chrysler and General Motors have already gone bankrupt once. But if we allow electric vehicle mandates to be put on this industry by the federal government, they're going out of business again. We got to fight against that. And this guy standing right here is the only person who will do it. We cannot allow the federal government to put mandates on the auto industry to build electric vehicles when the consumers do not want them.
I agree with that.
So I'm asking everybody, I'm asking auto workers, and I'm asking everybody that supplies the auto industry, get 10 or 15 of your friends, make sure they get out and vote. Our very survival depends on it, and we can't allow it to happen. So vote Trump and J.D. Vance, and we'll turn this country around. He's done it once. Unfortunately, he's going to have to go back and do it again. Thank you.
That one I like, because you have to think about it. One of the big things that Biden and Harris have done is this massive EV push, this mandate that you have to be 50% of cars have to be electric by 2030. And it hurts so many things. During COVID, there was a lot of issues with getting supplies for regular cars, right? Then when you have the EV mandates on top of it, and you have these manufacturers focusing on that and not making regular gas powered cars or diesel powered cars and focusing on battery powered stuff, you're having the prices of what is left for gas and diesel go through the roof. You're having the prices of the electric go through the roof because now they have to replace batteries and everything else. Everything gets just absolutely crazy price wise. And now my husband and I are looking at cars because the car we have now in another year, it's out of warranty. We don't want to have a car that's out of warranty because then if something happens, that's a lot of money out of pocket. So we're like, well, what are good options right now? A friggin' Honda Civic is, after you taxes and everything, you're at over 30 grand for a Honda Civic. It's like, what has happened? It used to be back in the day, you'd go get a Honda Civic for like $17,000. And now everything is so incredibly expensive, but everything is now turning either hybrid or electric, and it's not helpful in the long run to anything. And so I'm glad this guy stood up and said something, but that's not the point to anything. What is this? You are the very best. Oh man, see the phone, I'm trying to look, but because it has me in this portrait mode, I can't see shit. So y'all hold on. Let me try to pull up the live chat over here and see what you guys are saying in the live stream, because it's been a second since we looked at it, and I love you all. And then we're going to get back to Kamala and Tim Walz. Side note, Tim Walz being there as like Kamala Harris's like support animal. That didn't make any sense to me. He sat there and he looked dumb as dirt half the time with his, I can't make a Tim Walz face. I can't do that. That hurts. How he does that with his mouth. He just sat there like staring, doing nothing. Anyway, 725 Curious, thank you so much. Says you are the very best investigative journalist. Michelle, thank you so much. Listen, I'm just a chick with a camera and a microphone and a whole hell of a lot of opinions. And I appreciate the crap out of y'all for being here for this so I can have these conversations with you. It means absolutely everything to me. Because here's what's funny. If y'all weren't here, I would literally be talking to the wall, still having this conversation, because it needs to be had. Just the wall wouldn't respond back, and it would be awkward. And then I'd probably need therapy after all of that. But anyway, so what do we have going on over here? So got that. Let me keep going. Kevin, what did you put? The same sheeple who bought into C-19 mandates will do the same with EV mandates. Yep. Side note, that is my husband, for everybody who wants to check out his channel. We do videos over there together, but he's got some really good shit. We look at things a lot alike. He just will go a different direction with the way he thinks about things. I'm more on the emotional people side of it, and he's more in the money, how it affects the economy, and I don't even know really how to explain it, but between the two of us, we got the whole picture, right? And so y'all might want to check him out later. He's absolutely amazing. And I'm not just saying that because I love him. Even if I didn't love him, I'd still think he was amazing. Let's see, Honda Civics are closer to 40,000. I just bought one. So Mike, you know, it gets really, really expensive with cars these days. Even an SUV is absolutely ridiculous. Heaven forbid you want an F-150. I hope you have a kidney to sell to afford it because everything is so friggin' expensive right now. James Day says, how is she supposed to face down a terrorist leader? She's going to take Horse Boy along for emotional support. Here's the problem. She can't face down a terrorist leader. You know why? Because she's not allowed in their country. Most terrorist countries do not view females as worthy of speaking to or, you know, as actual humans. So that in and of itself should make a lot of people pause. And this is why I've said that as a female, girl power all day long, but not in the White House. I will never vote for a woman in the White House because I do not think a woman should be in the White House. That is me personally. You do not have to agree with it. You can think it's, you know, wrong for a girl not to, you know, support women everywhere. But I do not support a woman in the White House as a president because it will hurt us with numerous other countries where she can't get into them to speak to them. They will not take her seriously. And yes, I know there are other countries with women at the helm and we see issues in every single one of them at the same time. So me personally, no female president. At first I thought maybe if she was older, had been through menopause, wasn't emotional, whatever else. But it still comes down to, at the end of the day, how other world leaders will view a female in power and how it could hurt our country. And I have to think about it like that. And so for me, it's a no, dog. Let's see. Where else was I? I have so many more things here. Let's see what else we've got. Way too much. This is JD Vance. What is JD Vance doing? Oh, gosh. So I'm from South Carolina, just so everybody knows. And like, I should be real country sounding, but I've been out of South Carolina for the majority of my life and it's kind of toned down. And I don't think that people from South Carolina are stupid at all, by any means. But this woman here that was part of Miss USA or Miss Universe, I don't remember which pageant it was. When I saw her speak, I was like, I can't tell people I'm from South Carolina anymore. And I want to share this with you because JD Vance posted it up. He says, I have gotten hold of the full Kamala Harris CNN interview. And he put this up before, and I know people probably seen this, but it's too good. I know a lot of people have probably seen this, but it's way too good to pass up, so I have to show it to you. And here we go.
Recent polls have shown a fifth of Americans
Bless her
can't
heart.
locate the U.S. on a world map. Why do you think this is?
I personally believe that U.S. Americans are unable to do so because some people out there in our nation don't have maps, and I believe that our education, like such as in South Africa and Iraq, everywhere like such as, and I believe that they should, our education over here in the U.S. should help the U.S., or should help South Africa, and should help the Iraq and the Asian countries, so we will be able to build up our future for us.
Thank you very much, South Carolina.
That is who they want running our country, basically. Put Kamala's face on that girl's brain, and that's who you have trying to run our country. That whole thing, such as, oh, I know I used the words such as for the longest time after that. Every time I wanted to say something, I didn't have an answer. I was like, you know, such as, and I would just flitter off into something else because it was enjoyable and funny. Now it's terrifying because that is exactly what Kamala Harris sounds like. And that is terrifying because they're trying to put her in the Oval Office. And she sounds like Miss South Carolina right there. I love JD Vance for posting that, but it's definitely like, oh, man. Let's see, what is this? Y'all, I told you we were going to be here for a while. It's already 49 minutes. I hope you're having fun because I'm not done yet. And I have way too much here. If I would just send myself like 5 links, it'd be a lot better. But no, I literally have 74 different things here that I want to talk to y'all about. Oh, side note, breaking news. Kamala Harris never worked at McDonald's. Never worked at McDonald's. The same woman who walked out on that DNC stage and talked about how she used to work at McDonald's and flipping burgers and taking orders and whatever else. Well, McDonald's corporate has come out and said that they have no record of Kamala Harris working at any of their locations. ever in life. Woman's full of shit. We knew that, but now even McDonald's is letting you know that Kamala Harris is full of shit. Who lies about working at McDonald's? Like, out of all the places, who lies about working at McDonald's? Just thought you guys might want to know that. She's never worked at McDonald's. So there's that. Now this is from Libs of TikTok over on X. Okay, I have to be real careful with this one because the way I grew up, I know y'all have seen this before. Elizabeth Ramsey. Oh, Elizabeth, thank you so much. I appreciate you, ma'am, very much. Y'all have heard me over here. I have a tendency to talk weirdly. I have my own personality. It's not me doing somebody's accent or me trying to talk like anybody else. It's just how I am because of how I grew up in Atlanta, like surrounded by different people. I talk however I talk. Okay. And Kamala Harris, though, born in Oakland, California, grew up in Canada. Just so we're all fully aware, grew up in Canada, not even the United States, but now is back in the United States. She does not know what it's like to have a Southern accent, to have a black accent, to have a Northern accent. I don't even know, but I want you to hear all these different accents that Kamala Harris somehow comes up with, depending on what state she is in. And I know I just saw something here. Hold on. What is this? Barbed wire. Can you imagine Kamala trying to talk to any other world leaders? It would be a disaster. Oh, it would be absolutely horrific. Barbed wire. Thank you for that. It would not work out well. I want you guys to hear this. Let's see. Am I on anything else with a speaker? I'm horrible at live streams, but it's fine. We're just going to keep doing them because they're fun. Listen.
And I will tell you.
This is in Atlanta.
Done together, my friend. And when I am president, I will take on the bad actors who exploit a crisis. Hold on.
No, this is Savannah.
Hold on. Here's the thing. The courts are going to handle that. We're going to beat them in November.
November. What is?
We'll beat them in November. We'll handle that.
We'll handle that.
And you all helped us win in 2020, and we're going to do it again in 2024.
We're going to do it in 2024.
And I will tell you.
Wait, are we back at the beginning? Yeah, we're back at the beginning. She tries to black accent is basically what it comes down to. Ma'am, it's not believable. We've heard you talk. We've heard you speak. Whatever that was is not what was in the interview. And the interview was very subdued and deep toned and not high pitched and not black scented and not whatever else. There was no Southern. There was no nothing. Ma'am, if you have to fake who you are to get them to cheer for you, you should probably go sit down. Go have a seat, okay? Because it's unfortunate. It is what it is. It is unfortunate. What is this? Okay, so this one here, look, like I said, 10 million links for y'all. This is a recap of last night of Kamala Harris's interview with CNN's Dana Bash. Number one, hiccup. Kamala said Trump is to blame for why she didn't take action on the southern border for 3 years, although it was her. Number two, Kamala says she wants to drill, baby, drill. That's interesting. She's been against drill, baby, drill from day one, like super against it. And now suddenly flip-flop Harris, right? Number three, Tim Walz says he is proud of his service after getting called out for lying about it. Dana Bash called him out about it. He goes, I'm so proud to have served my country and blah, 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 blah. Cool. We're glad you served the country. Nobody's taking that away from you. Nobody's denying that fact. But you're still not answering the question on why you said you went to war when you didn't. We'd like a little clarification on that, or why you said your wife had IVF when she had IUI, something like that. All these different things he refuses to be honest about. Kamala says the U.S. needs to close the page on the last 10 years, forgetting that she was a VP for 3.5 of those years. Kamala says she is proud that she and Biden lowered inflation to a level that is still way higher than before they took office. Just as a reminder, she makes the comment, Denise Voorhees, thank you so much. She makes the comment that, what did she say? Because I don't have the whole interview. I can't show you the whole thing. It's, 27 minutes technically. You'll have to go look it up. But she said, what did she say? She said something about along the lines of, we've got inflation under 3%. You lying bitch. No, you don't. Right now, it's under 3% for the year, which is still 3% to the 22% it was up last year and the 17% up the year before. This is all on top of each other. But again, if people don't understand how the math works, they're thinking, oh, there's only a 3% inflation. Well, first there was 3%. Then you had another 17% on top of that 3%. Then there was like a 22% on top of that 17%. Now you're at a 3% on top of that 22%. You're at like almost 50 freaking percent inflation, ma'am. That 3% is the last little bit, we want the whole picture. Size matters. We want the whole shebang. This little thing ain't doing nothing. We need all of this. So you better give us the whole picture or keep it to yourself. That's how I feel about Kamala Harris. She says she has no regrets about covering up Biden's mental decline. Just FYI, she has no problem with the fact that she knew Biden's mental decline was there, that he was not fully cognitively there, and she still stood by him in theory and, fluffed him up and whatever else. But in actuality, that is horrible for the vice president to sit there and knowingly let the president, who is going possibly through dementia or something, make any kind of decisions about our country and stand idly by and do nothing to stop it, nothing about it, and also continue to tell people there's nothing wrong with him. I know that there is a thing of, being loyal, but not when it comes to the safety of the country. There is no, that's not the same. I want you to hear this. Wait, is this the right one? I don't think it's the right one. Hold on.
There were record numbers of illegal border crossings. Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
Oh, yes. Hold on. Let's start over. Wait.
During the Biden-Harris administration,
Did we already do this one?
There were record numbers of illegal border crossings.
Y'all tell me if we did this one.
Why did the Biden-Harris administration wait 3.5 years to implement sweeping asylum restrictions?
A bill was crafted, which we supported.
Yes, we did this one. Okay, I remember this one. We did that one already. There's so much. Sorry about that. I'm not trying to double make you listen to Kamala Harris twice when you don't absolutely have to. CNN jumped up and they automatically, their little round table started trying to make it seem like the interview wasn't nearly as bad as it was. And I want you to hear how they kind of try to, whatever, I don't even know how to phrase this. Let's get this going. According to Nick Sorter, CNN is already in damage control mode for Kamala Harris after her disastrous pre-recorded interview. Listen to this.
I don't think she moved the ball that much forward. I don't think there's a policy separation that they've created with Biden. Obviously, she gave a kind of personal defense of him.
Now, you might not like the way she answered him, but she answered him as a capable, qualified leader. And I do think she moved the ball forward a little bit. Maybe she didn't score a touchdown.
I think the two biggest issues coming out of Biden for her are the economic policies, which she clearly wants to embrace, but also the immigration policies. Dana asked her if she had anything to say about what they did for 3.5 years leading up until the back and forth this year. Completely sidestepped it, did not answer it. She goes back to her time as Attorney General. But again, absolutely nothing, no responsibility, no reflection at all on the day one executive actions or anything else they did for 3.5 years or anything she said in her previous campaign, which was to have the most permissive immigration structure. She's trying to skip a block of time at the debate. Trump cannot allow it.
It wasn't a huge...
The fact that they said that she answered them like a capable, qualified leader, I'm like, that is the equivalent of, oh, Joe, you answered all the questions. You did a good job. They just Jill Biden the crap out of Kamala Harris. That's what I saw from this. They were like, listen, she answered some questions and, she didn't drink during the interview. So I guess it's a win. Did she move the ball forward? No. Did it go backwards? Oh, we'll say that she did a good job. They know. Scott Jennings, love him. He was like, she didn't answer anything. She did nothing. She just sat there. And I don't have the clip of when she was asked about Joe Biden. But here's the thing. I don't think this is it. 14 minutes. What is this one? No, okay. When Dana Bash asked her about getting the phone call from Joe Biden that he was dropping out of the race, this is what she said. She said, it was a Sunday. I remember it was a Sunday. And, I had all my nieces over and I was making pancakes and they were like, Auntie, can I have more bacon? And I was like, of course you can have more bacon because I'm Auntie and I love bacon and I'll make you more bacon. And then we were going to put a puzzle together. And then Joe called and he said he was dropping out. And I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. That's how it went. That's pretty much how it went. The front end of it about pancakes and bacon and puzzles made not a bit of fucking sense. And then the complete tone change, where she was like, and then Joe called. And then, I was sad. And then Dana asked her, she goes, well, did you ask him for an endorsement? And she was like, he just, I stood by him. And he wanted to take his name off, and I stood by him because I stand by Joe Biden and blah, 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 blah. And now I, as the president nominee, I'm the not nominee candidate. I'm the best person there is for this job. That's pretty much how it went. You're not going to see the whole shebang put together because CNN realized if they just put that one video out, it would be very easy for people to see how dicey the whole entire thing was and how just clusterfucked it was. So instead, they have taken little clips. Let me show you. Hold on. Let me pull up CNN's YouTube, CNN. Please hold because my internet's kind of slow right this second. CNN. Go. Where are you? I just saw somebody's thumbnail with Kamala and it says you lying bitch. And I'm like, oh, I don't know whose video that is, but I want to go back and find it. I love it immediately. All right, so here's CNN. 16.8 million subscribers, y'all, and they've gotten 24,000 views on Kamala Harris. That's friggin' hilarious to me. But here's what they did. So you guys can see here, it is literally little baby excerpts of the interview. They did not put the whole thing up at all. The first one being extraordinary. Dana Bash describes interview moment when, what is this? When the call from Biden. Oh, how long is this? Can we watch this? Oh, please hold. 10 minutes, son of a beach. Wait, let's see if we can play this. This could be fun.
And said he was pulling out of the race.
I didn't know it was up there.
What was that like? And did he offer to endorse you right away, or did you ask for it?
It was
a Sunday.
It was a Sunday.
I remember that.
So here, I'll give you a little too much information. Go for it.
There's no such thing.
Gotta cackle at least once.
My family was staying with us, and including my baby nieces.
She's lying out her ass,
and
too.
We had just had pancakes and, Auntie, can I have more bacon? Yes, I'll make you more bacon. And then we were sitting down to do a puzzle.
That's how you know she's lying.
And it was Joe Biden. And he told me what he had decided to do. And I asked him, are you sure? And he said yes. And that's how I learned about it.
And what about the endorsement? Did you ask for it?
He was very clear that he was going to support me.
So when he called to tell you, he said, I'm pulling out of the race and I'm going to support you.
Well, my first thought was not about me, to be honest with you. My first thought was about him, to be honest.
To be full of shit. Because she can't say to be full of shit. You know what I mean? She has to say to be honest. I feel like if you're saying to be honest, it's because you're lying, but that's just, me, I feel like she lied to that whole thing. There were no pancakes. There was no Sunday family breakfast and a puzzle. There might have been bacon, but I don't think there was any nieces. And I don't think Joe Biden called her. I think she got word that there was something posted to X that Joe Biden had pulled out of the race. That's what I think. Listen, I think that most of the things that woman said during the interview on CNN were false, were aimed at making you like her for some reason, like that little section there in the very beginning of the interview where they were throwing up like little clips of her and whatever. And again, Tim Walz, they barely talked to Tim because he sat there like just a lump on a log. Wrong thing. Come on, Michelle, you can do this. I closed out the YouTube CNN thing. Go, stop. Look, I know how to technology. I promise I can technology. I don't think that's how you phrase it, but that's how I'm phrasing it. I can technology with the best of them. Actually, no, my 14-year-old could run circles around me with technology. Takeaways from CNN's joint interview, Harris and Walz. Nope, don't want that. Don't want that. I'm trying to see if they're going to show the part Biden dropping out. Nope, I want the part with Tim Walz where they asked about, I bet they didn't put that up here because it's not a good look. It is not a good look. Breaks down plans first day in office. No, there's no way that, wait, is this it? Hold on, wait.
Everyday goods, what we're going to do to invest
lying.
in America's
You're lying.
small
Stop talking.
In the last decade.
Work with me here, people.
Vice President's proposing are
nope,
things
that's not it. Stop.
Inflation at
That's not it. I don't think they put up the one of Tim Walz where Dana Bash was like, sir, but why did you lie though about going to war? And he was like, I love this country. I've served it for so long. And there's guns in schools. Literally just change the subject 100%. I cannot find the video on CNN unless I'm losing my mind. No, it's not on here. I see what they did because they knew it was a bad look. So not only did they not put up the whole 27-minute long thing that included all the other BS they smushed into this 18-minute of interview, they didn't even put up the whole 18 minutes of the interview, and they are still refusing to release the transcripts. Mike B. Massillon, Ohio here. I dig the live shows. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. They didn't even release that part. I will say, go back and watch Benny Johnson's live that he did last night, because he has the whole thing there. I know there's other channels I'm sure that have it, but I know for a fact Benny Johnson has it on his channel under yesterday's live, where he showed the whole entire CNN interview. And you guys have got to watch for the Tim Walz section. I'm not going to play Benny Johnson's video on here. One, copyright issues. Two, I would much rather y'all go watch him because he deserves the views. But you have got to see that part where Tim Walz completely skirted around Dana Bash's question about his lying about going to war. It should piss off every single man and woman who has ever served, every single man and woman who has been affiliated with anybody who has served, and every single man and woman of the United States who has never served and doesn't even know anybody who served. Basically, it should piss everybody off because that man is trash. Plain and simple, absolute trash. So that's that. Y'all, we could stay here for hours because there's so many things I could run my mouth about, but I'm probably going to let you guys go. I'm going to check this live chat real fast and see what's happening, and then I'm probably gonna let you go because I know it's a lunch break for a lot of people. And again, I'm probably gonna let you go. I've kept you for over an hour. All right, let's see what's happening. Tim Walz also ran away from this country when duty called. Yes, as a veteran, I am ashamed and pissed at him. And this is from William D. I agree. Let's see. Sierra says, we are all terrified. It's going to be our neighborhoods next. I'm 8 minutes from Aurora, and they are quickly moving and spreading outward into the suburbs. That's the Venezuelan gangs there. And YouTube doesn't want videos on it. They don't want you talking about it. Facebook won't let you share stuff about it because it's very, very bad. What is it? MS-13, the gangs that are moving in. They don't want people talking about it, showing it. You're not allowed to show the stuff that's actually happening in this country anymore without getting slapped on the wrist by the platforms all across, you know, whether it's YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, you're still getting kind of slapped if you show anything that's actually going on, because they would rather people be unknowledgeable before November 5th. Maybe after November 5th, it'll change. But until then, they don't want you to see what this open border that Kamala Harris and Joe Biden have allowed, what it's actually doing to our country. Hey, December Herrera gifted 5 memberships. Thank you. Let's see who got it. So Steven Stroker, I just like your last name. Kathy White, Sarah S, Tammy Thibault, and Seeking Serenity. Welcome to the tribe. Thanks to December Herrera. Ma'am, I love you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let's see if I can get to some other comments here. Oh, it won't let me go any higher than that. Hold on. It'll only let me go back so far on the live chat. That's lame. So I've missed a lot of your stuff, and I'm really sorry for it. I hope you guys have had fun talking to each other in the live chat, though. And again, I appreciate you all for being here for this. Once again, I'm not a Benny Johnson. I'm not like super journalistic with stuff. I just know that what we're being shown and what we're not being shown matters when it comes to what we decide to do on November 5th at the polls. My husband and I, we're going to go vote soon. We have early voting here. We're going to do our part. I want everybody else to do their part, because at the end of the day, it really does matter. I know a lot of people say it doesn't matter. Every once in a while, even I will think, does it really matter? They're going to plop who they want in there. But I still feel like we have to err on the side of it matters, because if we don't, if we decide to just stay home because we think it doesn't matter, that's how we lose. And that's when you also can't say anything if whoever you hate ends up winning and being put into the office. You can't say, well, I did my part, because you didn't if you don't go vote. So we have got to vote no matter what. And we have to pay attention to what is being said, what is being shown, what is being hidden from us, what lies they are telling. You can fact check almost anything these days. I've shown you numerous times where you have somebody on CNN or MSNBC say this is a lie, and then you pull it up and it's like, well, nope, this is the truth. It's like, I can literally show you where you did say this and you say you didn't, or I can literally show you the numbers that go against everything you're saying right now, Kamala Harris, with inflation and whatnot, and how many people have actually crossed the border, how much money has actually been spent on illegal immigrants in the United States, our taxpayer money that has gone to people that are not actual citizens. All of these things matter. So we have to pay attention to everything that is going on. That's what I was going to show you. Before we go, I need you guys to know this. Tim Walz removed a requirement to save babies. Let me explain this. he calls himself a pro-lifer, like he believes in life, but at the same time, they had the abortion van outside the DNC. And for somebody who used any means necessary to be able to have children, IUI, meaning they put money and effort and, everything into being able to have children, the fact that this man signed this bill into law last year that, of course, CNN isn't talking about, MSNBC is not talking about. It is a bill he signed that removed a requirement to try to save babies that were born alive after an abortion. So somebody went to go try to have an abortion, didn't work for some reason whatsoever, it didn't work. The baby is born. He has literally signed a bill in May of 2023 to remove, I'm trying to figure out how they phrase this. A Minnesota law has been on the books since 1976. Here we go. So it's been on the books since 1976 that required responsible medical personnel to use all reasonable measures consistent with good medical practice to preserve the life and health of born alive infant. That's what they're calling it, right? What he signed in May 2023 got rid of the word preserve and replaced the previous wording with a revised requirement to care for the infant who was born alive. Now, here's the thing. The concern is the law no longer requires that life-saving measures be taken. So he has literally signed into law that if a baby is born that was previously tried to be aborted, I don't even know how you're supposed to phrase that healthcare workers don't have to try to keep that baby alive, since technically the mother wanted that baby gone anyway. They don't have to try to keep that baby alive. Can you imagine how fucked in the head you have to be to watch a live baby come out, see it crying or doing whatever it does, and then go, leave it. If it dies, it dies. Like, are you kidding me? How that man is allowed to still have custody of his children just from that alone, I don't understand. Not even to mention yanking his son Gus across the stage. I will never forget that. People said they can't find it. It's in a video. I've got it. You guys can go find it. But the fact that he signed that into law is absolutely atrocious to me. And this is, again, they're not going to tell you about this. People don't talk about this because it doesn't paint Coach Tim in a positive light. It doesn't paint the Democrats in a positive light. Although I have yet to see one thing that does paint the Democrats in a positive light. But these are things that need to be known and need to be shared with other people. Tell your friends. You can show them the video. You can look it up on the internet. You can do whatever you need to do, but tell friends and family about exactly who these people are, because all they know is what they're being shown by mainstream media. CNN, who's not showing who they really are, because instead they're editing out numerous portions of the interview and not even putting it up on their channels afterwards so that you can see the parts that you missed. You couldn't even watch the whole thing unless you happened to either be paying for it or you watched it where somebody else had paid for it. That is shady AF, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay, that's it. Now I'm gonna let you guys go. Now that I've pissed y'all off, it was not my intention to piss you off before we said goodbye, but I've pissed myself off, so there's that. But I'm gonna let you guys go now so you can get along with the rest of your Friday. Plus, personal here. I told you guys before that my mom was moving this weekend. Well, today is the day. She actually just showed up with the moving people to start moving the stuff into her apartment. And when our kid gets out of school, we're picking her up. We're going to go grab some crumble cookies to take to my mom as like a welcome thing and see my mom. So I'm really excited. So there's that. And besides that, that's the plan for today. And then this weekend, we're going to hang out with my mom. So I'm happy. And I hope you guys are going to have a fabulous rest of your Friday. I may see you again later. I'm not 100% positive. It depends on timing. I'll definitely see you tomorrow afternoon. So until the next time, I love you. Thank you for being here. Take the knowledge that you have learned, whether it's from me or jump on x.com or go over to Benny Johnson or wherever else and share it out. Tell people everything you have learned here today. Okay? I love y'all. Goodbye.